I have a very funny feeling that a lot of people might have not heard of this movie. I was very lucky a couple months ago to actually see the trailer in a movie theater. I don't exactly know what movie it was that I saw it attached to, but from the moment that I saw this trailer, it just looked very, very interesting, and I was extremely excited to see it. The film that I'm talking about is the inevitable, I gotta say, the inevitable defeat of Mr. and Pete. And it's a coming-of-age story. It is an R-rated film, but it's telling, the story is coming from the perspective of these two kids, Mr. and Pete. Even though there is a lot of major stars in this movie, from Jennifer Hudson, Jeffrey Wright, Jordan Sparks, Anthony Mackie, and there's a few other people that I recognize, but I really don't know their names. But the true stars of this film are Mr. and Pete. And Mr. is a black kid who is played by Skyland Brooks, and Pete is a Korean kid played, I believe he's Korean, they say he's Korean in the movie, but he's played by an actor named Ethan Dizon. And 80% or 90% of this movie is just them, because they're put in this predicament that I would not wish on any of my enemies. Their parents, or the lack of parents, I mean, really, they only have their mothers around. Their mothers are just despicable people, and because of circumstances, they are put on their own, and gosh, about at least 75 to 80% of this movie is just them. And they're just trying to survive, they're trying to find out what their next meal is, they're doing some things that they have to do that are not the right way to go about things, but they don't know, they don't understand, so they have to just defend, just to survive. And it's so sad. I mean, I was watching this movie almost getting depressed, and my heart was breaking because I really felt for these kids. And I think the major reason I felt for these kids is they give two amazing performances. I don't want to take anything away from the character of Pete, but this is Mr's story. Skyland Brooks, who I've never seen before, both these actors have been working for the last couple years doing small parts. I think this is maybe their first big part ever in a movie, in motion picture. They give such honest and amazing performances that I forgot that I was seeing children. I was seeing actors that have been around for many, 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 many years. They gave such exceptional performances, especially Mr. I don't want to take anything away from the Pete character, but the character of Mr., he is a kid that is obsessed with movies. One of his favorite movies of all time is Fargo, which was such a great, just when they brought that up, that was awesome, because I love Fargo. And then when they referenced that movie, because he loves movies, he wants to be a child actor, and he has no hope for it, because literally they are on their own. They have no one to take care of them, so they have to take care of themselves. And this movie is directed so honestly. The director of this film, I believe his name is George Tillman Jr., and his last film was in 2009. It was Notorious, the story of Biggie Smalls, which a movie that I really, really enjoyed. And he's actually directed some other films that I've seen. I was extremely impressed by this film. This is an exceptional movie that I'm not going to forget anytime soon. The performances by everyone in this film are really honest and very true, and they never really break out of that character. You really believe in, I believed in everything that was happening in this film. And I would hope that some sort of award can be nominated to Skyland. I think Skyland Brooks gives a award-winning performance. I don't know if the Oscars will at least hint on it, because I think he just gives an amazing performance. I just fear that this movie is going to be overlooked because it doesn't have a real huge release. I would hope this movie gets expanded and people really get a chance to see this film, because this is a very special movie, and it's a movie that I was very excited for, so my expectations were in check, but they were exceeded. I mean, I was blown away by this movie, and I was really moved by this film, almost to tears, and I really just have to commend the two leads in this film. Mr. and Pete, Ethan and Skyland, have really just, they're two young kids that I've never seen before, and they carried this movie into movie heaven. God bless them. They have done some just incredible work. I don't know how many times I can say it. This is a very moving film, and it's a movie that I'm not going to forget. I love that it really handled the situation in a realistic manner, and it felt very gritty and dark and sad and then happy and depressing, and I was sympathetic to everything that was happening on the screen. Everything just felt really true and honest, and I just can't praise this movie enough. I'm going to give the inevitable I am going to give the inevitable defeat of Mr. and Pete 4 out of 4 stars. I'm MovieManCHAD. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Twitter, and I'm on Facebook. And please go to WeLiveFilm.com and subscribe right here on YouTube to We Live Film. And if you love movies, small movies, big movies, no matter what the subject movie is, this is probably the best coming-of-age movie that I've seen this year. I highly recommend you try and check it out and use your MoviePass and go to MoviePass.com. It's changed my life, and hopefully it can change yours. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next review. Peace.